What's up, guys? It's Alec Mac111, and as you can tell here and by my recent traditions, if you guys have watched my channel for any of the past 5 or 6 years that I've done YouTube, I do a huge Christmas Day unboxing. And so that's the case. It is a little bit late tonight. I actually filmed this video once already, but my camera corrupted, and so I have to refilm it again. I did take some of the stuff out of the packaging, but you guys are still going to get my genuine reaction. I hope you guys had a great Christmas. If you did, comment down below what you got. Hopefully you got some cool stuff. My first Christmas, I actually got a Cyma M14. It was the first airsoft gun I ever got. I think I was 13. It was like the first real gun I got. I guess I had Springers. But I got a Cyma M14 that was about as tall as I was when I was 12. And so if you guys have some cool, hopefully you guys got what you wanted. Hopefully you're having a great Christmas. It's like 10 p.m. right now, so it's almost over. But I got to do this unboxing, and so I'm excited. So what I actually got for Christmas was a GoPro Hero 7. I got this from my parents, and then I ended up spending quite a bit of my own money, and so I got a GoPro Hero 7 Black. This is awesome. GoPro actually did a really cool system where they allowed you to trade in an old GoPro and save $100 on this camera. So what I did was I went and bought an old GoPro Hero 1 on eBay for like 20 bucks, had it shipped to me, then shipped it to GoPro itself. And so I got $100 off of this GoPro, and so with this and the accessories I bought a floaty handle as well, just for cliff jumping and stuff. I think I only spent like 420 bucks. I'll throw a screenshot up there. I took a screenshot of what I paid and what I got. But this thing is awesome. I think this is absolutely going to revolutionize Airsoft as far as shaky cam go. They are saying shaky cam is dead. I'm really excited to use this, really excited to start filming with this. And I'm using this and then the Run Cam 2 or the Noverge Scope Cam 2 or whatever it is. And it's super cool. So the next package is actually from Tech. They sent me something like 5 days ago. They're like, hey, do you want to look at our new tracer units? And I said, absolutely. I looked at the last ones, did a video in the last one. I'll pop that one there. It was super good. I loved it. And you actually see this with some of this stuff. So for this time, they sent me tracer BBs, which is really cool. I had to buy tracer BBs from Airsoft Alpha that last time. I have no idea what weight they are. They didn't mark them, so I'm guessing they're like 0.2s. They feel pretty heavy. And then I think these are the green tracers as well. And then they sent me 2 different products, which is really cool. So they came out with a new thing. Some of the guys from Gamertag basically branched off and made their own company and called themselves Tech. And so they have been coming out with some super cool stuff. In this package, this one is the iTracer unit. So this is a tracer and a chronograph. And this is a PEC box, and so somehow the communication between this as well as a MOSFET, which is super cool, so you can plug in your gun, this allows you to communicate, and on the back you'll be able to see your screen, you'll be able to see the FPS rating that goes through it, and you'll have a tracer unit all at once. So that's really cool. This one I'm super excited to kind of get into, but I am honestly more excited for this lighter S. So I got my cameraman with my old lighter. This is the Tech lighter, and so you can tell this, they just came out with a suppressor flash hider thing. This looks like it's the size of a flash hider. This is about the size of most of my flash hiders. So this was already literally one of the smallest suppressors on the market, probably the smallest tracer unit, and then they just went ahead and made it half size. And I think this is actually really cool. This is super cool with the box. I threw the box, but I grabbed it back. On the box, we actually did a test. They came and they said, me and Sure Shot Midget, they said that it only shot 10 RPS. And so on this box, we tested it with one of his super high-end AEGs, and they put 35 RPS on this. So through our video, I don't know if it was 100% up, but we tested the lighter, and this thing shot amazing. We couldn't even crank it higher for RPS. We probably could now, and I think, honestly, when I do a review of this, I might try and crank it, because we got some guns that shoot like 50 RPS. Well, he does. I don't have anything that's that ridiculous. But we are able to do that, so I'm excited for that, and we're probably going to test this. I wonder what this thing can do. I'm guessing it's pretty much the same system, it's just a little bit smaller, but this thing is incredible, and so I'm excited to be able to kind of play around with these new suppressors and or tracer units. Next up we have, this is just a quick one. This is actually something that I got from my friend Jonathan. Him and I trade back and forth a lot, and so I got this mainly just because it's actually broken, but I got it for the stippled grip. It just looks super cool. Once I turned 21, I got a real AR pistol, an AR-15 that's in a pistol configuration, and so I soon want to be able to get a Glock, and so I am going to probably, hopefully, get a real Glock in like the next 6 months, and so I was kind of just curious. I just like the feel of them. I have never gotten to like I think I've ever used, I've also used 1911s as pistols, either High Kappas or the Elite Force 1911. I've never used the Airsoft Glock pistol like legit, I guess I used a Tokyo Marine 5.7 for a little bit, but I'm excited to play with this, and I love the stippling on it, and I traded him just some like extra parts, and he ended up giving me this gun. Next up, we have something I actually picked up off of a guy from Craigslist. I'm going to try to balance this. Some of the stuff that I've been getting, if you guys have not, look in your local Craigslist. Sometimes there's guys that are getting out of Airsoft. You're not allowed to look in Columbus, Ohio, or Indiana because I deal with all those territories. So any other state, you're good. No, I'm just kidding. But I ended up getting this. This is an Echo 1 MP5, and it came with some extra stuff. So guys getting out of Airsoft, one of the best ways that I get stuff is I'll be like, man, hey, cool, I have not used an MP5. I've not had an MP5 since my system, a TW5, and I've never really used the MP5 configuration, but I love playing with them. I loved this tri-rail, love the full stock. It's probably my favorite part about MP5s. This is my favorite configuration except for the MP5 SD, which is full stock, and then has a suppressor / the normal handguard on here. But this is my second favorite configuration, so I was like, man, I'll get it. I'll mess around with it, shoot around in the backyard a little bit, and then I'll probably end up buying or trading or selling this like I do with a lot of my guns as well. Did come with KSC .25, which is super cool. So I saw these and I was like, man, those are super old BBs. The KSC .25s have like a little bit of a green tint. You probably can't tell a ton on there, but they have a little bit of a green tint on them. And then also they come with your favorite BBs in the history world, good old ultrasonic .12s. If you have not ever seen these BBs, I don't think you're playing Airsoft, you're probably still playing Nerf, because these are literally every single BB that was in every single Walmart, either green or red, and everyone was like, oh, ultrasonic BBs, and then also came with 6 high caps, which is cool. So one of the reasons when you buy people's collections is you get enough mags, you don't have to pay extra for mags, which is really cool. Up next will actually surprise many of you / blow your minds. I am getting back into HPA. I have been out of it for a while. You'll actually see with the last gun, and I'll explain a little bit of a story. But with this, I have not had a Polar Star for 3 years, and so I have not used HPA in like 3 or 4 years. I sold my HPA system my sophomore year of college, and so I am getting back into this. I have no idea exactly what type of gun I want to put this in. I thought about putting one of my GMP lowers and running it around, but I actually really am considering putting this in a Crytac. My brother says that they are really good. They fit in there really well, and I really like Crytacs. I had an LVOAC, and I'm looking at trying to get, I ran this like 3 weekends ago, the last time I played. I ran with a gun that had a V12 in it and then a Crytac SPR Mark II. And I was like, man, like I think I might be getting back into HPA. So I traded with a guy, and I got this, which is super excited. So I traded him 2 things. This is the first item in that trade. And the second item is this D-Boys M4. So this is a D-Boys M4, just a standard full metal AG. It actually has a PTS EPM grip on here, which is really nice. Got a good full stock. It's full metal, which is cool. I like this tubular rail system. It did not come with a flash drive. I traded my 1911, the SAI one for this, and then I traded I think some Oakley goggles for this. Yeah, that's what I ended up trading this for, and so I got them, and this is pretty cool. I did with these videos, I tried to take some of the stuff out of the packaging a little bit, like obviously with this, so it goes a little bit quicker. Let me know if you guys like that more, or if you'd rather see me take every part off of it while I talk about the gun. Up next is actually another HPA, so this one is pretty exciting. If I can get it out of the box. This is a KWA gun, so this is another deal that I ended up doing. Guy was getting off Craigslist. I've actually played with this guy. Him and I played in summer. There we go, got it. We actually played together, and his name's Flenner. Was a super cool dude. Played with him a lot of Airsoft in Ohio, and so I picked up this gun, and then I had a G&G as well, and I sold the G&G. But this is a KWA M4. It's got a super cool flash hider up here. I put my Lancer Tactical grip. That's basically a copy of the BCM grips on there, and then this is the OG. You know a gun's old when it has the OG Magpul PTS grip on here. These things are awesome. This is probably my top favorite grip of all time. I think this is the Gen 1, then they came out with the Gen 2 that had a little bit different grip on there. It had like different pattern, it had like the Magpul logo in there, and then the third one is the EPM grip, but that's after PTS kind of changed everything. But this is like the grip. Back in the day, this was the grip everyone wanted. These are super nice, and so super cool to find one of these because these things are old. And then my brother installed an HPA engine in here as well, and so I'm really excited to play with this. Start messing around with this. I'll probably end up selling the externals and then doing something with the Fusion engine. I like this gun a lot, but I don't really want to use the KWA. I've had lots of KWAs before, and so it's great, and I love it, but I want to build either a Crytac or use a GNP because that's what I have with all of my other guns. So it'd be really cool to kind of have some universal ability to be able to do whatever I want with it. Up next is actually something, this will be in the description, a company from China was like, hey, we have an Airsoft vest, would you like to look over? And I said, yeah, sure. So they sent it. I told them I'd throw it in an unboxing. It's really cool. It's actually pretty high quality. It was actually, my cameraman Rob was saying, this is actually pretty cool. It feels good. I would think it's used as something like, it's kind of something you see like Daredevil or the Punisher use or something like that. Not necessarily like milsim, but I think it'd be really cool for a loadout or more for like a kid if you want to kind of do something with LARPing, if you want to use a kit. I did come with these mag as well, so if you want to put mag adapters on there. I love these fast mag holders. These fast mag holders are awesome. They're really cheap because everyone makes them. Avengers makes them. You kind of put them on there if you want to run like a cool little quick draw system. I love the ITW is the real brand that made them, but honestly, like these ones, like if you're gonna get some of these, get the real ones or get like a decent copy because these China ones are pretty cheap and they're just hard to use. But this is one of the best systems ever for belts if you really like to be able to like index your mag quickly. That's one of the favorite systems that I use is mag, like these, the HSGI Tacos, and the Blue Force gears. Up next, we have a gun that I actually got in a mystery box. You guys know that I took a 6-month break, and if you don't know that, I'll throw that video up here. I think cards are actually getting gone soon, so if it's not there, that's because cards were removed from YouTube. But I got this in a mystery box, and then I took it up and I messed with it, and I was like, man, this is a pretty cool gun. And so I'm unboxing it now. This is an ARX 160. I want you guys to be able to kind of see all the guns that I ever get. So I think I did this like a month ago, but I just was in my break of YouTube. But this is an AirWorks 160. This is the elite version, so this one is really nice. The cheap one is not that good. They have a cheap version that's kind of mediocre, but the elite version is actually really, really cool, and so this thing shoots well. If you want a gun that kind of is M4 that runs a Stag platform, but you're out on the field, this gun would be really cool. If someone would be like, why are you holding a salmon in your hand? But I think it'd be kind of funny. I think it'd be cool for people to use. If you want to kind of stand out, I think this gun absolutely does it. Up next, we have another gun that I actually got in a trade. This is, I forget exactly what I traded for this, but this is a KWA CQR Mod 2. Yeah, I think the 1 is the longer version, and I think the 2 is the shorter version. I remember when KWA came out with these, everyone was like, oh my gosh, KWA is so cool, because KWA for the longest time was like the best gun. Like, it was the highest. I know the KWA Ronins are still really good, but KWA was like the first full metal, super good gun after Tokyo Marui, and then Classic Army came around for a little bit. The Classic Army's quality control started to die, and then KWAs came out, and man, they were so awesome. So this is really cool to get this platform in such a cheap version. I think this is a fake Magpul MOE handguard. Just looking at it and feeling it, it feels pretty fake. Some cool little suppressor thing there. I don't actually know what this is. The dude managed to do, there's 3 things that confuse me here. 1, do any of you guys run rail panels on the top? I don't know the reason for that. There's no way you're grabbing it. 2, this it's really weird here to have that for me so far forward. I like to run my TN or T1s either like there. Mostly I like to keep them kind of close to my eye because it gives you a little bit bigger sight picture. And then 3rd, this flashlight is actually in front of the optic. So I'm kind of confused. I know there's no room on the bottom, but it makes me think, I'm pretty sure these are both fake because this AFG, I believe, it doesn't have any trademarks in there as well. And it seems pretty fake. As you can feel, once you have enough of the real ones, you can know. But this thing actually did come, which is pretty cool. It came with 4 of the mid-caps. I know the K120s aren't great. You can only really feed with .2s, and you have to make sure you don't leave BBs in there because the springs in there just are not the highest quality. Up next, we have another gun that I actually bought off of a guy in Craigslist. And if this isn't the coolest little stubby end-of-the-world gun game you've ever seen, I have never been to Ballahack, but I have seen their field. I really want to play there. I would totally use this for a zombie game. I remember the first zombie game I ever played, I used a GMP stubby M4, I think it was called the Baby Monster was the version. I put a UBR on it, and I was just running this little stock, like this little tiny gun running through the woods, had a sword on my back. Like, this was like, I'm talking, I was like 14. It's probably like 8 years ago, just running around with the bros. This was like the most fun part of Airsoft, like getting into it. I know Milsim's fun, I know Speedsoft's fun, but like, I would like to see more of that kind of style of event done. I know it has to be done well for it to be good because otherwise it's boring. But I just remember running through the fields at Fallen Warriors, just blowing through zombies, just absolutely destroying them, whipping out a sword if one came near me. Like, I felt like I was in a video game. It was super cool. But then this is the coolest little gun. It has a Daniel Defense rail system. This is like a 5-inch rail system. He ended up putting a flash, or this is a, he's using a flash hider, but this is a gas blocked, but I think it looks kind of cool. Got real Magpul. Got real Magpul flip-up sights as well on here. These are the real PTS ones. Got a red dot sight on there as well. Full stock. I actually don't know what brand grip this is. I don't think this is ICS, but it looks really cool and it feels really good. So honestly, I might actually end up probably keeping this gun. This thing is really cool. I just like the way it looks, and it does shoot pretty well. Up next, we have a headset. This I actually got in a tray. This is pretty cool. Nice headset. Got this from the same guy I got the KWA with. And then I have a bone conductor headset as well. This is just like a throat mic with an earpiece connected to a Motorola GP8 or 68. These are actually pretty good radios, and then this is a pretty good style setup headphone line. Up next is actually the most disappointing gun of the night. This is an ICS SIG. I think this is a 5.52 with a longer barrel. I was so excited for this gun. One of the first guns I ever used. You guys are actually getting, this is the second of 3 stories tonight. You guys are getting like way back. If you have been with my channel for a long time, you'll know that one of the first guns I ever got was the SIG 5.52 Commando. It's one of the first guns, I think it might be the second video I ever uploaded, maybe my first. And I got one of those guns and it was awesome, so I was really excited to get this because this Lilacs rail system looks beautiful. I mean, you can see that burnt bronze on there. I think it just looks awesome on the front of the SIG. However, the gun I got is absolutely crappy. I got it from a guy in Hop Up, didn't tell me anything was wrong with it. It has numerous issues. I had to cut the wires because they were inside the gun. They were sticking out the side here. This is messed up. The charging handle sucks. Here's a connects pin that's holding the rear pin. The selector switch on that side is broken. The stock wobbles. The stock is in 2 pieces. No sight here, no flash hider. I mean, literally, gun doesn't even work. So I was really disappointed once I got it. But I was really excited because I've heard good things about these and I'm excited to live my glory days. So if you're going to trade airsoft stuff, if something is really bad with a gun, don't be dishonest and don't tell people, oh man, there's nothing wrong. Or if something is wrong with it, just tell the guy. I asked some questions. I said what kind of condition it was in. He said, oh, it's in good condition. I sent him 2 brand new Cyma Desert, or not Cyma, the Cybergun Desert Eagles, the CO2 ones. And I ended up not getting it back because I was just like, it's not worth it, and he wouldn't pay me any extra money to get this fixed, so probably end up selling this. So if you're interested in a SIG, it's a project gun, let me know. I'll probably end up selling this. It's a cool gun. I just wish that I had time to work on it, and it's probably better that I start with a different body. Up next is the most expensive gun in this entire unboxing. You guys will know if you've been on my channel for about 2 years. I originally got this my sophomore year of college. I'm done with my undergrad now. And I got this gun my sophomore year of college. And so I finally got it back. And it is my Systema PTW in full working condition. So this gun is beautiful, literally one of the prettiest guns I've ever worked on in my entire life. Story number 3 of the night. I spent about 10 to 12 hours alone on this body. You can see this weathering on this body real quick. See that weathering there? The light kind of glistens off of it. I spent 10 to 12 hours taking off 2 layers of paint. There was an OD layer and then there was a tan layer off this entire body. You can actually still see it a little bit on the top rails. There's still a little bit of color there because I didn't remove it from there. I weathered this body, worked on this. This was the first Systema I ever got. I ended up getting a TW5 at some point, but I sold that. I really wanted to get a Systema. I have had every AEG, and it's at like, I don't know if you guys understand this. You that are younger maybe understand this, but for my generation of airsofters, the Systema PDW was like the best gun you can ever get. This thing's awesome. This was before HPA was ever a thing. These things were literally the Ferraris of airsoft, and they still are. They're still really, really great. However, there have been some stuff that's come out like HPA that's really cool as well. I sold my Polar Star to actually be able to afford this. I sold my Polar Star with the TRX rail system on it and the squid grips. That thing was amazing. I sold it for $700, and then I ended up buying a Project PTW for $500. And I have not seen this gun in 2 full years. I have not seen it in 2 years. And so I got it back. Stampede Airsoft hooked me up so much. Love them. They're super thankful for them. So if you guys live near Stampede or want to get some stuff, man, I would love if you guys supported them because they're super cool. Some of the nicest people I've ever met. They helped me out a lot with this. I sent it to a guy who worked on it for a year, kind of played with it, was figuring out some kinks. He kind of was busy with stuff, so didn't respond to me. They ended up sending it to Stampede, and Stampede, it took like a little bit of time. And then they ended up fixing it for me, telling me everything was wrong. And then hooked me up with the FCC 3.5 motor, and then fixed everything internally. This thing has an Orga barrel on it. There's a reason that the unboxing is so expensive. This gun is worth about $2,000. This thing, as far as money that's been spent on it, spent in it, I got it for a little bit cheaper, but the guy before me bought it for like $1,800. This is a $200 rail system. I have redone the gears, got a new FCU. The motor was $300. This stock is like $150. This is the max buffer tube. I mean, this thing is absolutely beautiful. Literally one of the coolest guns. So I am super excited to be able to unbox this. Excited to finally be able to get out and play with this. I cannot wait to go out and shoot a bunch of people. I literally spent more time on this gun probably than any other gun that I've ever had before. My TRX Polar Star was probably the second most gun I spend a lot of time with. This rail system's $200, man. I love this. I love this gun so much, and so I'm super excited to get it. Thanks for getting through the end of this video, guys. You guys are awesome. If you got to the end of this video, comment System of PTW so that everyone else knows what they missed. Remember, I hope you guys had a great Christmas. Remember, Jesus is the reason for the season. I know some of you guys know that I'm a Christian, but I just want to be open and honest with that. If you have any questions about that, ask me. I love to have discussions. I always respond to anybody on Facebook Messenger or Instagram. I use Instagram a little bit more, but Facebook Messenger also works if you're older. And so thanks for watching this video, guys. Thanks for supporting the channel. It's so good to be back. It's so good to be back and see you guys. It's been Alec Mac 1-on-1. I'll see you all later.